Is something a good buy? Now, there's two things we're looking at to determine if something is going to be versatile enough for you and your wardrobe. And the first thing is length, and the second one is color. Now, I have a few examples for you here today, and I am Noelle Cellini, personal stylist and style expert. I have this coat here from Zara. It's about 10 years old, but it is, if you can see, a little bit shorter. It's not cropped. Cropped would mean it would be more like at our natural waist or a little bit shorter. But it is a shorter coat, meaning that it comes to, and I'm going to put it on for you. It doesn't come mid-thigh and it doesn't come right above the knee. So this means that, and you can see here, kind of has a little asymmetrical neck. Comes to about here. My natural waist is here. Where I wear like pants is usually right about there, so it's this long. Now this means this is a good buy for me when I'm looking at length first and then color, because I'm somebody who, my life and my lifestyle is not somebody where I'm in an office and I'm wearing a lot of blazers or I'm wearing a lot of suits. So if I was working with somebody, a client, and that's what they wore a lot and that's what their office or their dress code was like, then this wouldn't be a good buy because the blazer would peek out from underneath it. This coat would be too short. For me, for somebody who is not wearing a lot of suits and not wearing a lot of blazers, it is a good buy because I can wear it with jeans. If I am wearing things like in a more like corporate setting, I'm usually wearing tops, like a blouse like this, tucked in to a skirt or high-waisted pants, or then I'm wearing, so if I'm not wearing a skirt, then I'm wearing a dress, and I can wear this shorter coat with it. So we're always going to look at length first. The color we can kind of work with, and then everything else outside of that, like the neck or the sleeve or anything like that, especially on the top. Is it a flutter sleeve? Do we like flutter sleeve? Do we not? V-neck, and we'd rather it be crew neck. All of those things are not going to make us, we can still walk away from something that, oh, okay, well, really only V-neck works on me. I don't want to do crew neck. But the two main things to consider, and in that order, would be length and then color, and then everything else you can kind of are, again, personal preferences. And you know if you like crew neck, you know if you like sleeveless or 3/4 length or flutter sleeve or not. But most people aren't thinking, oh, okay, length, does this work with what I have and what I wear? And then color. So length, it checks the box for me on that. And then color, well, in black, most of us usually have a lot of black in our wardrobe, so it works and it goes with a lot of things, and so I know what to do with this. So this is a good buy. It checks length and then it checks the box of color. Now this next item is in a very, very bright color, which I adore and love. But first, of course, we know we're looking at length first before color. Now this is a little bit longer, actually a lot longer, and this is, for me, this is more like a blouse, so it's not just like a casual top. So when I was looking at this, I was like, oh, well, this works for me because I don't wear blouses just out. I don't wear blouses out, which is like a pair of pants when I'm doing a corporate presentation or a networking event. I wear blouses like this one, or like the one I have on. I wear them tucked in to a skirt or a pair of like high-waisted pants. So for this, I knew, okay, length I can work with because I'm going to tuck it in. Now, as a side note, I see a lot of women in their wardrobes where they have these longer tops and they're not wearing them tucked into skirts either because they don't like it or it's not flattering on them, and that's okay. But then they kind of get into this style rut a little bit where they're wearing these longer tops and they may not have any tailoring, like they may not really skim the body, and maybe they're just wearing them because they have a larger bust or a tummy and they don't know what to do with that. But that's when we start to feel like, my style is just missing something, or I'm not really feeling put together. Well, because it's just a top and you're getting lost in there. We don't know where your legs actually begin because you are all tops. So just a word of caution that as a guideline, we actually like to, the rule I give people, or the guideline I give people, is that we don't want to cover the crotch because then we don't get to see we don't get to see how tall you are. You just look like all torso. And we always want to look like more legs and less torso versus more torso and less legs, because more legs is when we get to see how tall you are. And remember, height helps balance out width. That's why we can feel not so again, stylish or put together, great, because we're all top. So for me, and that can be a whole video in and of itself, but for me, I'm tucking this in. And then color, so that's our second box, and it checks that for me because I love this color. I'm a winter, so I can wear a lot of these like cobalt and red and these colors, so it works with my skin tone. Even though I used to be a redhead for 10 years and this really popped, it still works with my skin tone, my eye color, and so it's something that I can work with. It's a color that's okay and good up by my face. So it checks length and it checks color as well. Now, something else, here is another example for you. This is just a pink sheath dress. And of course, we're going to look at length first. And this works for me because it is right above the knee. So we want to keep things right above the knee, right at or right below. Any lower than that, we kind of enter into dowdy and frumpy, just as a general guideline. But for me, I keep things just right above the knee. And that means that, okay, great. So where I'm wearing dresses like this is, again, like presentations, networking events. I don't really go to a lot of like baby showers and weddings, and if I do, I have one or two things I can wear. So a sheath dress like this at that length works for my lifestyle and what I'm doing and where I'm going. So it checks length first, and then the second one would be color. And again, this color is a color I can wear. It works for me. Whereas some people might think, oh, well, it's a bright color and you're in an office setting. Remember, color is not inappropriate. We need color. Color is flattering. It adds lightness to our face. It adds warmth and depth versus always everything being in black and browns or denim and stuff like that. We need color. It picks up our days, and it's flattering in general as well. It's more so if something is too short or too low or anything like that. That's when something falls into being, so to speak, inappropriate or not right for this occasion or setting. It's never color. It's always going to be the length, really, the length of the neckline, the length of the garment itself, anything like that. So it checks the length, I can wear it, and then color. It works for me. Whereas I may be working with a client and she may say, okay, well, this dress fits great, length is good, I can sit down, I can stand up, I can move in it, but she might say, well, I always wear a blazer over dresses, or I'm never in the office without something over my arms. And so she might think of a black blazer, and that might feel a little too 80s with this pink dress. So we might say, okay, that not that there aren't other things she could wear with it, but then we might determine this is not the best buy for her, because if she's always wearing a blazer over it, and a black blazer with a pink dress is going to feel a little bit too 80s, 90s, it's something that she's not going to reach for then a lot. So it checks the box of length, which is the first one, the most important one, but then it doesn't check the box of color. So we move on from, that's how we know, is this a good buy? For me, it works because I'm not usually wearing this in a networking event or a presentation. I'm not wearing it with a blazer. I'm just wearing it as it is. Now, I have another fun piece to show you, and it is just a classic pencil skirt. Yes, it's in a fun kind of silver faux animal print, but again, it is right above the knee, and so it's really length. And then this I can kind of work with. It's just kind of a fun color, so to speak, or fun neutral or something. I actually wore this to a presentation one time, and everybody loved it. Men, women, all the women were asking me where I got it from. So the length is good. It's not super short. It's just right above the knee. Now I have actually worn it with this, and I don't keep the plastic on my clothes. This is just because then it traps in the fumes and the chemicals from dry cleaning, but I do kind of keep these little protectors on the top on, because to protect from any dust or things like that in my wardrobe. If it's something that I'm not changing out with the season, so I keep this in my wardrobe all the time. So I keep this little thing on it to kind of protect the top of it. So I have worn it with this skirt tucked in. You can see it there. Tucked in, and that's a really, again, it's a really fun outfit. It's still professional and put together. It's not a suit, but I'm not something in settings where I need to wear a suit. And then this is kind of how I would style it up. I could add turquoise necklace, because as we know, turquoise has equal amounts of cool and warm tones, so it is the most flattering color. That's why it's great to have it in an accessory. I have also worn it with this necklace, and then I layer this necklace with a few other silver ones, and that creates a very striking look. So just to give you kind of an idea. And then lastly, I do want to share that length and color isn't just with clothes, so it can also be with accessories. This is, here I talk about this shoe a lot because it's in cognac, which is a really great, if you're looking for something to go with everything, whether something has a lot of colors in it or even something to go with black, cognac goes. So even this outfit, yes, I could wear this with black, but cognac is a great neutral, whether it's a shoe, a flat, a bag, a blazer, whatever it is, cognac is really great. So this first though, I looked at it and I looked at the height and I was like, totally wearable. I could wear this easily. I could walk in it. It's comfortable. It's not this big, huge heel. And then again, the cognac, I was like, yes, this will go with everything. So it checked both those boxes, where I actually do have it in this blush color as well, but same thing. It was a very walkable, doable heel for spring, for summer, for fall. I could wear it with a lot of things, and then the color, it goes with that. Even if it was in like a bright color like the hot pink or the sunflower yellow, again, I have to look at my wardrobe and think, okay, would I wear a shoe in that color? But first, it was really the height, so it was the length, and then it's looking at the color. And if I had to choose, I would always go with the cognac because, again, it's kind of that sophisticated European neutral, whether it's a flat, like I said, a bag, a shoe, it goes with everything, even this outfit. And yeah, it works with a lot of things, and it works with a lot of skin tones. So light, dark, light hair, dark hair, all skin tones, all colors. Cognac really works really well. Now, this is also true for scarves, and I have this in my scarf video as well. So first we're going to look at length. Is it a length that we can work with? And then is it colors? So that's, like I said, in the scarf video, how to store your scarves, I talked about that I'd rather have a scarf that's too long versus one that's too short. And I'd rather have, so a long one, at least we can do a lot of different things with it, versus a short one, we're left kind of, and most people don't want to wear something really tight around their neck. They feel like, you know, it just isn't their style to wear something super tight around their neck. So we're left with these smaller short scarves because we need to look at length first and then color to determine if it is a good buy. Yes, all those other things, like I said, are personal, the neckline, the sleeve, the style of the sleeve, things like that. But when shopping on your own or shopping in a store or you're traveling, you're not sure, is this a good buy? Always make sure that it checks length first and then color. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.